My name is Jeff Mogire. So much has happened this week and so many things are happening across this week because the World Cup is set to begin this weekend. FKF Premier League is set to begin this weekend as well. The Premier League has, the English Premier League has actually taken a break until the end of the World Cup. We'll be having matches there, but Arsenal is still on top of the table and people like Ken Chege are very happy. But it's life. Things happen and life goes on. Bernardo Tieno is not here today. I'm standing in for him. And today I have a bench of analysts here. People have been here before and those who have not been here before, like Situma. On the far hand, I have Mr. Wilfred Bungei, Olympic champion. And also I have James Situma, a former footballer, former Mathare player, former Tusker player, former Harambee Stars player. He's now taking charge of the KFOA, that's welfare organization that is taking care of the players' welfare and ensuring that they're doing so well. We also have Ken Chege, resident analyst here, who is going to help us and analyst and understand. But also we'll be joined by Bernardo Tieno. He will be joining us later on Zoom, also to weigh in on the matter that we're talking about tonight. So, gentlemen, welcome to Scoreboard once again. And let me begin with Ken Chege. What was your moment this week?
Thank you, Jeff. Glad to know that I am not former anything. I am still current. This week has been very nice. As you know, there's the junior tennis that has been taking place in Nairobi. Mm-hmm. And I'm very happy to note that my favorite player, Angela Okutoi, has now made it to the round of 16 in the women's doubles. And she's in the quarterfinals in the singles. After she is playing her match tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. And I'm certainly rooting for her. A good distraction from the football. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Situma.
For me, I think the resumption of the KPL. I know we have been in the cold. I can say maybe like you have been locked in a room without ventilation. So at the moment we feel we are breathing and we're hoping that things will be okay and we move on. So one day to go, and we can't wait to enjoy it.
Do you think players are fit and ready to play?
You know, it's just 50-50 affair because we have some of the teams started early, are preparing early. Mm-hmm. Others started 2 weeks ago, so some will have an advantage, some will have a disadvantage, but all the same, what we are happy for is that we are back in action.
Okay.
You know, we're in the football season, and therefore I think for me what works is having the first African woman to be able to be a referee, you know, during the World Cup. We have the Rwandese, Salima Matsanga. It worked for me because I think, Jeff, if you look at all our analysis that we have done in the past, we are looking at a situation whereby we have those who break the barriers, you know, to be able to be in the places that no one has ever been. And to have Salima, you know, refereeing the World Cup, you know, it's going to be very exciting, especially for the African nations.
Thank you so much. Now let's jump straight in and let's listen to this story. There's a story about Ababu Namwamba meeting federations, and it's talking about issues to deal with doping. How do we stop it, and how do we nurture talents? How do we grow the next Angelo Kutois? How do we grow the next Fernando Manyar? Listen in.
There are so many Angela Okutois. Angela is winning games at the Australian Open, at Wimbledon. That is the creme de la creme of the tennis world. This girl is proving that Kenya can actually do tennis at the very highest level. So why is your spending only event focused? Oh, we are going to this event. Oh, we are traveling to this capital. Why are you not coming with plans to develop talent? Why are you not coming with plans to improve infrastructure? Why haven't I heard from the football people telling me that Kenya does not have a single football customized stadium? Hakuna stadium iko na ile kitu inaitwa football atmosphere, where you enter the stadium and the atmosphere alone scares the visiting team because of the atmosphere you've created in the stadium. We don't have a single one. Hizi tuko nazo Kasarani yetu, sijui iko na racing track. The distance between the pitch and the fans is like from Nairobi to Budalangi. So hakuna atmosphere. I want you to challenge the ministry by coming with plans that go beyond events. We must rescue Kenya's premier image as a world beater that competes clean. That's the image we have as Kenya. There are a few unscrupulous characters that are endangering that image through doping. We are going to bring very stringent anti-doping measures. We are already drafting law and regulations. We'll make doping as serious as drug trafficking. We are going to make doping the most expensive line of cheating you can engage in sports. We will drive doping out of our sports with you, and I'm asking you for help. I'm asking football people to work with us to drive out cheating in refereeing. There's an outcry, okay, of refereeing. Unajua, hata kama hakuna VAR, the fans ni VAR ya first class. Fans, au mafans. The VAR they can see.
That is Namwamba speaking. It says it doesn't care whether it begins. The gap between the fans at Kasarani and the pitch is like from Nairobi to Budalangi. So let's begin just at the issue of doping. He says they're working on something to ensure that they come with very strict rules and criminalize doping and make it like the case of drug traffickers. Where does this leave us, Bungei?
First and foremost, I'm so happy and really feel that the minister or the CS himself is deciding to take the bull by the horn. Remember that we have sat here, we have discussed on many occasions that what are we going to do so that we can be able to eradicate the doping that has really become a menace in this country. And I think for him to have mentioned today that it has to be criminalized. Remember when we mentioned, and I think Ken was here, and we say that this is something that we have advocated, especially as the retired athletes, that we feel our name is being tarnished by the current athletes who are doping, not knowing that there are people out there, that they are making a living out of athletics. And therefore, it is the right direction that I think the minister is taking, so that anyone that will be found will be jailed. And I'm happy that he mentioned that it will not spare the coaches, the managers, and the athletes themselves. Because remember that by the time that an athlete is found to have doped, there must be somebody who is giving those drugs. Remember that some of these drugs that they are using is injectable. It means they are getting it from the doctors. And therefore, I think it is the right direction that we will be able to cap this.
We had an exclusive here by Moses Wahisi this week. And it was a big information in there when you realize that it's not about the athletes alone. It's deep. The road is so deep. And even the AK knows these people.
Look, I think what has happened over the years is that initially these people, they were doing on their own. But remember that they have mastered the art of deceit. In the name that, they are always in advance, whereby they are using drugs that are not banned yet. If you look at most of the things that happens, or even those who are banned right now, they have found certain substances that were not in the list of banned, but they were using it because those ones were not. So it brings us to a situation whereby we have got to also teach the athletes themselves that it is not about them, it is about the country. It is about the lives of everyone who loves sports in this country. Remember that the only thing that sells Kenya is athletics and wildlife.
That is where it bites us so hard. Situma, take a look at what is the CS is talking about. The football fraternity is not talking about the pitch. We're only telling the CS about international events, not about developing talents around here. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I think he really made a firm statement, and I think he means business, which is good for across all the sports, because doping and match fixing, it cuts across all the sports, and it's cheating. It's gaining an advantage over the other person. You have to train to compete, but again, as you said, it's a business. Most of the guys are involved, and when you find maybe you are playing for like in football, if you play for the team that doesn't have good structures, don't have maybe those professional doctors, you end up maybe in a problem without even knowing, because you feel maybe you're having a headache. When you go to purchase a certain drug, you don't know if it's, at times when you take it, then it's doping, and you don't know. So it means that we come up with structures. Let us give education to the players, to the athletes, to make sure that they have to behave professional, and if you have a problem, you have to seek the audience of your team doctor, or maybe you are in a national duty. We have so many expertise to make sure that you consult and make sure that you come up with a good way of acquiring drugs. But it's a really menace, and I believe if it's dealt with a lot of seriousness, the way the CS is saying, then we can't maybe we can't push it out altogether, but if we have we deal with the main culprit, I think we can maintain the situation.
Do you think we have a proper system of nurturing talents in this country?
At the moment, we don't have, and I believe it's all about willingness for the people involved in sports, managing the sports, to come up with good structures, to make sure that we have the next Bungei. Because if we don't have those structures from the grassroots, then what happens? That's why we were talking with him at the other side, that he has history in this country. Then he will come and maybe beat that history that he has really made with the country. So we believe that we having a good structures into place to make sure that we have raw talents coming up, professionals dealing with the raw talents, that we can make it and still compete at the international
level. Not quacks and opportunities. Of course, we have to be professional. Namwamba says Omanyala was an accident. And to some extent, I agree with him. Because were it not the media, Omanyala would have not been known before, by the way. And everybody didn't want to be associated with Omanyala. You know the story, what happened to Omanyala.
Yes.
And here we are. We have Angelo Kutoi, who won Kenya matches in Australian Open, Wimbledon. We have a title from there for the doubles, for the juniors. What do you make of what we are doing in terms of progress, in terms of process, in terms of the system that we have, in terms of growing players and getting them to the world stage to become world beaters? Because Namwamba says even in athletics, what we have is not the best. Sure. There are so many best athletes, but we don't know them.
Yeah, and I totally agree with him. But two things that he said related to that stood out for me, Jeff. The first thing is that he is going to have a clear development plan to nurture talent in this country. Okay, if that can be started, and we have had opportunity to interview on this show many athletes and many sportsmen and women who always say, if I had been discovered 2-3 years earlier, maybe I would have gone a little higher than I actually did. Meaning that had they gotten the opportunity, had they been nurtured, that would have happened. The second thing that he said is that they are going to have a program where with this talent, they are going to try and take this talent forward. Okay? Now, and just to see how serious he is or not serious he is, he said that in 2 weeks time, he's going to start the preparation for Harambee Stars to qualify for 2030 World Cup. He said that that's going to happen in 2 weeks' time. Okay, and he also said that the way we select our teams sometimes does not reflect our true potential as a country, meaning that there is a flawed system. So if we can fix, these 1, 2, 3 things. I mean, you remember just the other day when we were going to Oregon, there are some athletes who suddenly went missing.
Didn't go.
They didn't go. We didn't actually take the best team. And same case with the Commonwealth. We ended up taking some juniors, which is okay. We are giving them opportunity to learn. But is that the best that we can take to go and compete? Is our aim to give people opportunity, or is our aim to go and win medals and make our country proud?
Exactly.
Yes.
So let's talk about Simbas. The national team rugby team, say 15 Simbas, went to Dubai and they were playing the World Cup qualifiers 2023, but they didn't qualify. Actually, they lost to Portugal 84-0, and now they are complaining they need allowances for them to play the next game against Hong Kong. If they don't get the allowances, they won't play. Already they have lost the World Cup. Mungai, what do you think is happening?
Yeah, I think thinking about, actually it's not 84, it's 85 nil. And you know, I can understand, because you see, when it comes to rugby, this country...
You see, what's funny is that they fought so hard against the US.
I know.
But they failed against Portugal.
Look, I think there's so much always that comes when a team is able to go out, and then, you know, you find that they are not able to perform the way we expect them to. Unfortunately, most of the time, you would find that we will always have excuses here and there. But as I said, you know, rugby has always been huge in this country. They have always, the time of Kayengas and the like, you know, rugby was somewhere. And just as Situma said, we have put to look at the future athletes and players, such that, you know, if we had a team that was performing so well, like the rugby sevens, then why now the under 20, you know, they were not able to perform? This is something that we need to discuss as a country, so that when we send a team out there, they are able to perform and do better, rather than coming in with excuses.
Let's not shift this focus to Ronaldo. Ronaldo says Manchester United betrayed him. Situma. Manchester United betrayed him. And I wish Bernardo was here. I don't know if you can get him on Zoom.